If you have coughs that sounds like this, along with other symptoms like dry eyes, fleshy cheeks, dry nose, dry skin, and it's worse at night when you just lie in bed and you're trying to go to sleep, and when you finally get to that sleepy point, all of a sudden you feel this like coughing fit that's like trying to come out and you try to suppress it, and it's like there's like a battle in your throat, then this video might be for you. Coughing is the body's natural defense mechanism. Coughing helps to expel irritants like dust, pollen, smoke, animal fur, medications, even lung diseases like bronchitis, COPD, asthma, and viruses and bacteria from colds, flus, influenza, and COVID. But COVID needs its own video, so let's talk about coughs, especially dry coughs. When you inhale, air travels through your nose or your mouth down your trachea, and the trachea branches into your bronchus and your bronchioles. These are the highways in which air gets transferred to and from the body. When an irritant sneakily enters your body through your nose or your mouth and travels down your trachea into your pathways, these pathways have these mucus guardians that traps these irritants and sends signals to the brain to let the brain know that, hey, there's a robber in here, so you gotta get it out. So then the brain signals the lungs and the pathways to cough up and expel the irritants, or the thief or the robber. And that's how coughing is your body's natural defense system. Occasional coughing here and there is normal. Like I said, it's your body's natural defense system. But if the cough develops into a constant chronic cough, then it becomes not so normal. Coughing is on the list of one of the top reasons that patients visit MDs, GPs, specialists, and healthcare practitioners, because it's such an annoying thing to live with. And 10 to 20% of the population have this issue. And recently I've seen a spike in coughing in patients because irritants in the ears, including pollen and dust, and then you have cold and influenza just around the corner. You have the seasonal change of autumn. Mainly if you talk about seasonal change from the high humidity in summer transforming into the crisp and dry weathers of autumn, coughing is more or less expected around this time of year. Cough is associated with the lungs. It's the same thing in Eastern medicine. But if you look at the pathway of the coughing, you think of coughing as upwards rebellious energy, whereas a normal flow of lung energy is when you breathe in the air from your nose or your mouth and it goes down through your tracheas to your lungs. It kind of goes downwards. So that's the normal flow of qi, or lung energy. But coughing is actually the reverse, where you're trying to get rid of the irritants from your lungs and up your trachea and out your nose or your mouth. So it kind of goes upwards. So in this case, we say that coughing is a sort of rebellious or reverse lung energy. And this constant flow of reversal lung energy weakens the lung and weakens the lung energy, leading to poor lung circulation and running low on fuel if everything is not running as it's supposed to. And this incorrect flow of energy, patients will tend to be really weak, lethargic, they'll be fatigued. You can really hear it in their voice, as their voice is really soft and mellow, and it's really hard for them to speak because even speaking takes a lot out of them. Or another functionality of the lung is the distribution of fluids. So the lung is responsible to distribute fluids to all the organs in our bodies. So here we have a picture of the lung. You have the nose and mouth, the trachea, and the lungs. And then if from here we have the main water source, and the water is going down the big river and down to the small river and down to the smaller rivers, you can see how it distributes water to the necessary parts of our body. But now imagine that the origin of the water, the supply line, is short. Just like the current supply shortage that we have right now, if the supply is short, anything else downstream will be affected. So you won't get the supplies you need, or in this case, you won't get enough water distributed to the muscles and cells and organs that are needed down the road, resulting in dryness. You'll really feel that dryness in your lungs, your eyes, your nose, your lips, and even your skin. And that's why this chronic dry cough doesn't really have sputum, because everything is just so dried up. There's no water, so there's no fluid, there's no phlegm, there's no sputum left. It's just dry, dry, dry. So there's a particular population that are more sensitive to dryness. Professionals that use their voices a lot, including singers, teachers, and even coaches. So it's really important to stay hydrated, and even so, where everything is so crisp and dry. And during the day, you're standing up and you're upright, and that downward smooth flow of lung qi is more controlled due to the help of gravitational acceleration energy, which is 9.8 meters per second squared, in case you're wondering, but more on that later. And when you're lying in bed, being horizontal, that gravitational acceleration is not helping to control the rebellious lung qi, thus making you cough more at night, especially when you lie down, which is so annoying unless you master the art of sleeping upright. And take into consideration of dryness. So it depends on your location. For example, if you live in the Sahara Desert or if you live in the Amazons, there's a difference in the dryness of the atmosphere that will dictate whether or not you're more prone or less prone for you to experience dryness in your lungs or dryness in other parts of your body. There is a really good acupressure point that I highly, highly recommend to all my patients, and that is to nourish your lung energy. And it's especially so during autumn time. And it's a really easy point that you can pinpoint whether you have cough or not, because the point of this acupressure point is to nourish your lung energy, and you want that smooth flow of energy going downwards, not upwards. So here's the point that can nourish your lung energy. So you make a goalpost, right? To all my football fans out there, and you have an L. Then what you do is you take that L and you cross it at the thenar eminence, which is this meaty, fleshy portion of your thumb, between your thumb and your pointer. Cross it, and then you align your fingers so it's similar to the sign where it's like to those confusing signs where it says go right and then it says go left, and you're like, which way do I go? So you make one of those. And then you just softly land your pointer finger on top of the superior lateral aspect of your radial arm, which is basically a fancy way of saying just softly land it on your arm. And if you feel around here, there's actually a small depression, and it's the styloid process of your radial bone. You can really feel it if you feel around. If you go like up, right and left, up and down, you'll feel that there's like a little depression in here, and that depression is where the point actually lies. And if you have chronic coughs, this is what you would do. So after you find this point, right, you use your thumb because it's usually stronger than your pointer, and you want to push it towards your thumb or your pointer. Put it on the point and you push it towards your other thumb. So thumb on the point, push it towards the other thumb. Press down, push, lift. Press down, push, lift. And this point nourishes your lung energy. This point is called 裂切, and besides from using this point to nourish your lungs, to subdue your rebellious qi, to boost your lung energy, to help you with your chronic coughs, it can also boost your immune system, ease headaches, get rid of migraines, stop hiccups, and loosen your stiff neck. So once again, stubborn chronic coughs are so annoying and just ruins your day. This point can nourish your lung energy, subdue rebellious qi, so get rid of that persistent and stubborn chronic coughs. But keep in mind, there are many different reasons of why we have coughs, and it's really important to find out what is the cause of your chronic cough. If your chronic cough is due to weak lung energy, then this point is for you. But if your chronic cough is due to stress, here's another video for you.